3 lifelong friends, 6 trusty balls, and endless NFL takes. Welcome to 3 Guys, 6 Balls NFL Podcast.
Welcome to episode 36 of 3 Guys, 6 Balls NFL Podcast. Avery's rejoining us today. How was your Vegas trip, Avery?
It was great. Great time. Good to see the boys in Vegas. Good to see an awesome NFL game and miss the one play we missed happened to be an NFL record, which was awesome.
I have heard from like 4 or 5 different people now that the fact that you and I were standing shoulder to shoulder taking a piss during that is probably the funniest thing I heard all week. So.
We heard it. Oh, no, we're like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they actually scored? Oh, dang.
NFL record.
But yeah, it was a great time. Great time. I was there with some other friends. Really good time.
Do you want to disclose how much money you spent? Or is that...
Ooh, I did. I did not... Well, I gambled $20 because we were all sitting, like, watching someone else do slots, and I was sitting in the seat, and I remembered that I had a 20 in my wallet, and I was like, well, since everyone else is doing it, I'll just blow this. And I was trying to lose it. I was, like, betting big money. I was trying to, like, flex, like, with $20, like, going for the higher bets, and I kept making just enough to, like, get back up to 20. And my whole thing was like, just lose it. Just like hurry up and lose it. But I want to bet big. I want to bet big. And I like kept getting back up. I'd get like real close to like $1, back up to like 20, 25 and do it again. And everyone's like, man, if you just cashed out. I'm like, no, I'm losing it all. But that wasn't where the money went. The money went to Ubers and food, some good food and some expensive Ubers. So,
yeah, I had a really good time. I just wanted to get some of your thoughts since you weren't here last week. But yeah, it was a good trip overall. So to get started with today's episode, our first topic is actually Avery's idea. So Avery is going to lead us. Actually, we have to do Will's recap. I am sorry.
Yeah.
We have to do your recap.
All
I
right.
totally forgot about that.
Well, I wasn't going to let you forget. I didn't spend 45 minutes writing this to let you skip over it. Uh-oh.
Go ahead, Will.
I can't. I can't?
Go ahead, Avery.
Go ahead, Joel.
I use OneNote. I use Microsoft OneNote for a reason. That way I can write it on one computer and have it on all computers. Okay, we're good. All right, hold on. Don't hit play yet, even though we're still recording. We're not uncut yet. We haven't said action. Apparently I had to sign in on my computer. Sign in to save. I'm signed in. Okay, all right, we're good. All right. Week 10 wrap up. Man, this week kind of sucked. We had started the Thursday, Raiders Broncos. Broncos get a win in the worst possible way. This team may be 8-2, but it is fraudulent and should be reported to every credit card company as such. 7 wins in a row is still a hard thing to do in the NFL. Congratulations to the Broncos. Falcons at Colts. Jonathan Taylor had 286 scrimmage yards in his 5th 3-touchdown game this year, which is half of the games they've played he scored 3 touchdowns in, including a game-winning touchdown in overtime. And the Colts are still bucking at the top of the AFC. How about that pun for you? Jets and Browns, who cares? Just kidding. Jets get rid of all their good players and then still find a way to win. Although, now this is a made-up stat. You can't take a pass away and then judge a player by it. But if you take the one Breece Hall screen pass out of the equation, Justin Fields only throws for 12 yards that game and no touchdowns. And it was a screen pass, so who was really doing the work there? We had Saints at Panthers. Saints decided number 1 pick isn't worth anything this year, decided to pick up a win against Carolina. Hey, what the shuck, right? Struck season, here we go. Pats at Bucks. Pats stay highly against what's left of the Buccaneers with no timetable for Bucky's return. The Bucks are just trying to hang on for a playoff spot. 7 wins in a row for the Pats as well. Again, that's not an easy thing to do in the NFL. Ravens at Vikings. There is a reason I've been saying J.J. McCarthy is bad. Just watch this game, you'll see it. Also, have you guys heard about his alter ego? Have you guys heard about this yet?
No.
So he has come out and said that on the field, he's not J.J. McCarthy. He's 9, and he should be referred to as such. Only wants to be called 9 when he's on the field, in the locker room. It's his alter ego. And let me tell you, it's dumb. It doesn't work. Also, the only 9 we care about, Matthew Stafford. 3 turnovers for the Vikings, lift the Ravens to a win.
Hold on. I'm trying to decide what's worse. That nickname or Caleb Williams painting his nails?
It's the nickname.
It's probably the nickname.
Okay.
The
He's
painting the nails
cosplaying.
thing. Yeah, painting the nails thing. You can write that off as my sister's cousin's nephew is a cancer survivor and she paints my nails every week, and like you can write that off as something. 9 being a dog, and this guy who you can't, like, you are unproven. Be somebody in the NFL before you start to dub yourself a nickname.
I think it's his mom. I think it's his
mom who
mom
paints his nails?
that doesn't. I think it's his mom that does nails, but still,
That's
still
because
paints
it's
his nails.
convenient. That's very convenient for him, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I mean, it's still. Yeah.
3 turnovers for the Vikings, lost the Ravens to a win. This Ravens team is 1-5 at one point, and they are on the road to win the AFC North. Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo catches the Miami flu and gave one away down in South Florida. They must have been too busy celebrating their win over the Chiefs and forgot that Miami still has some good players. They still have good players, and that coach apparently wants to coach again. Bears at Giants. Bears win again to another team with a sub-500 record. But a win's a win, and it did get the head coach of the Giants fired. Sorry, Brian Daboll, but you are out now. I would like to go on a record that Bears are 6-3. I'd like to go on a record saying the Bears will not make the playoffs this year. 6-3 through 10 weeks. Will not make the playoffs.
I do want to say one thing.
Yes.
I just find it funny that after the Packers lost, that there's a bunch of Bears fans that are going out there saying, "Oh, the Bears are in first place in the NFC North." They're not. They're in second place. The Lions are currently leading the NFC North because they beat the Bears. The Bears are not in first place. Now, shout out Brennan from Cheeseheads in the Bear podcast. He is a reasonable Bears fan. He told it was Bear Den Live, who is one of the guys out there saying the Bears are in first. Brennan says, dude, we're not in first. Because they're not. So, Bears fans, you're not in first place yet. Okay? You're still in second place.
No,
you're
you ever be.
6-3. You're 6-3, which is a good record. I'm not taking anything away from you, but you are not in first. You are in second place.
I will take it away from you, actually. I will be the guy. I will stand on this hill. You are 6-3 in your 2 games that you have, or your 3 games that you have played against teams with over 500 win records. Half their games they've won. You lost all 3 of them. And it wasn't close for most of them. For 2 of them, you got destroyed by the Lions. It was like 51-13. Okay, let's not act like you're good. You are better than the bad, and you are worse than the good. You are the Jason Garrett Dallas Cowboys. Welcome in. Welcome to your new place. Congratulations. 8-1 for the rest of eternity. Congratulations. You made it. Anyway, Jags at Texans. Davis Mills leads the Texans to a 26-point fourth quarter. Did a comeback win over the Jags with J.J. Watt on the call. I bet you guys
JJ win.
Third and goal with 37 seconds left on the clock. Texans down by 5. Davis Mills scrambles for 14 yards to get the touchdown. Then on the next possession, down by 1. They went for 2, didn't get it. Next possession, down by 1. Trevor Lawrence throws an interception. Gets a 6-6 as a defensive tackle. Runs back 30 yards for a 6-6 to steal the game. Big win for the Texans. That was the last exciting thing that happened the rest of the week in football. We had Arizona at Seattle. Seattle took on Arizona in a boat race. 2 defensive touchdowns put Arizona away early. The Seahawks team can apparently win at home in opposition to what people say on the internet. They are still good at home, and I'm still more worried about them at home in the playoffs than I am away. I'm going to stand by that one. Anyway, Detroit at Washington. President Donald J. Trump in the building / the booth. Commanders get destroyed by the Lions. Dan Campbell shows that it was, in fact, the play caller's fault that they were so bad. Rams at 49ers. This game looked close for a minute, but it never was. Stafford continues to put on a clinic, going for 20 touchdowns and 0 picks in the last 6 games. Steelers and Chargers. Chargers win a snooze fest on Sunday Night Football. If you end up staying for that whole game, who cares? That game started with a safety. Aaron Rodgers tried to run away from a defensive end, and it didn't work. He fumbled, fell on the ball, got a safety. The game was over at that point. And then Eagles and Packers played this week, but no one really cared. Only ones that benefited were Devonta Smith and Josh Jacobs fantasy owners. Besides that, it was so boring, it was bad TV. And it wasn't necessarily a bad thing that YouTube TV doesn't have ESPN right now because you didn't miss anything good anyway. Anyway, that was week 10.
I will say I was very excited when Josh Jacobs scored that touchdown because we won our fantasy game.
Yeah, we were down like 19 points going into that week, weren't we?
We were. We were
And he
down
got
19
22
points.
or something like that.
He got 19.8. He actually,
wow.
so because he got that touchdown, we were up by, so we won by 0.68 points. But we were up by more, but then he fumbled. He fumbled at the end of that game, and so we won by 0.68 points. So luckily that fumble didn't cost us. We won. It's our first time. It's our first time in that league this season. We won multiple games in a row. The first time all season. I was just praying the whole time, like, please, just Josh Jacobs, just score a touchdown. Just score a touchdown, please. So I was excited about that game just because of that. So, all right. Well, thanks, Will. Now, Avery, it is officially your turn. And just remember, officially, just remember, I may or may not be here next week. So you are auditioning to be host.
Well, I'll tell you what,
your competition's real bad.
I've got my other cousin, Gavin, who I want to bring on. The thing is, he actually knows more. Like, whenever I ask him any NFL question, he's giving me stats. He's giving me, like, context and everything. Dude's a huge Seahawks fan, so I feel like he's going to be emboldened.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
And very excited.
Play this week.
I think you guys are going to like him. Will like him. Joel will like him from afar when he watches the episode after the fact.
I'm going to try to be here. I just don't know. My wife's having foot surgery next week. I don't know if I'm going to be here or not.
She's got 2 feet. Okay, she's only having surgery on one of them.
Yeah, that's what I told her.
Privileged.
Oh, I'm a white woman in
said
America. I don't have to work.
Yeah.
She's not going to watch us. I don't care.
I need both of my feet.
Anyways, this first topic was Avery's idea, so Avery's going to lead. So go
All
ahead.
right. I don't remember what it was. That's a joke. All right. I'm going to ask you guys, who in the NFL do you think is the most underutilized player? Now, for anyone at home, that means anyone who's in a inopportune spot in the depth chart. They've got a different, maybe not a great coaching staff or scheme or the way they're being used or whatever it is. Who is a player that would benefit from being moved to a different team? And now if you've got the name of the team or you have an idea, that'd be great too. Or you could just point out why you think that player is being underutilized and could be utilized somewhere else more effectively. I'm going to start with Will.
Oh, I'm going to pass. Joel can start.
I'm going to go with Joel.
All right. So the player that I think is most underutilized is Falcons running back Tyler Allgeier.
Yeah.
He is, I think a lot of people forget this. When he was drafted in 2022 in the 5th round, he ran for over 1,000 yards and he averaged 4.9 yards a carry. That's really good. That's really good. And then the very next year, the Falcons draft Bijan Robinson. The very next year after he ran for 1,000 yards as a rookie. I don't understand why. Now, part of me understands why they drafted Bijan because he is. Part of me understands it because he's one of the best running backs in the league, and so you're getting one of the best running backs in the league when you draft him. And these teams like the Lions, they're trying to build backfields where they feature multiple guys. But the part I don't understand is with Robinson and Allgeier, it's more like a 70-30 split. Versus with Montgomery and Gibbs, it's more like a 50-50 split. It's not exactly 50-50, but it's pretty close to 50-50 between those two. With Allgeier and Robinson, it's not. Robinson's more like 70, Algier's like 30. They do utilize Allgeier sometimes. Like in this last game, he had 11 carries to Robinson's 17, and he ran for 57 yards and 2 touchdowns on 5.2 yards per carry, which is pretty good for a backup running back. But they also have other games where they don't utilize him at all. He has 4 games this year where he has less than 5 carries. Now, as a rookie, Allgeier had 10-plus carries in 13 of his 17 games played. And then since Robinson was drafted the year after, he's had less than 10 carries in 25 of 43 games played, which is 58% of his games. How do they expect this guy to get any sort of rhythm going when they give him less than 10 carries 60% of the time? I don't understand what the Falcons are doing with Tyler Allgeier. They're not utilizing him in the way that they should. And I don't want to say anything bad about Bijan Robinson because he's great. He's one of the best running backs in the league. But what has he done to help the Falcons win? Nothing. He's done nothing to help the Falcons win. They haven't done anything since he's been there. So, in my opinion, if I was the Falcons in 2023 going into that draft, I would not have drafted Robinson because you just had a rookie who you drafted in the 5th round who ran for over 1,000 yards and, again, 4.9 yards per carry, which is fantastic. Some of the players drafted after Robinson in that draft, Jalen Carter was the very next pick, one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Christian Gonzalez, one of the best corners in the league. Jackson Smith and Jigba, later in that 1st round, one of the best wide receivers in the league. They could have had one of those guys. There's a couple other guys too, but they could have had one of those guys to make their team better and left Tyler Allgeier as the starting running back, and they would have been probably better off than drafting Bijan Robinson and leaving Tyler Allgeier as the backup that they sometimes use and just sometimes decide that they just don't want to. I don't understand what the Falcons are doing with him. I feel like if he went to any other team and he was the starter, he's not going to be one of the best running backs in the league, but he would be a very solid running back who can get the job done.
And for reference, Tyler Allgeier's the BYU walk-on that was working at Walmart before joining the team. He's also, most people probably won't remember this, but there was a highlight several years ago of BYU losing the ball, fumbling it, and that defender running it all the way back, almost to the end zone. But you see Allgeier running, chasing after him, and just punches that ball out, and BYU gets it back.
Some like DK Metcalf stuff right there.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. It's one, the hustle, but also just that. I mean, it was a smooth motion. Like he knew exactly how he was going to do it. When I saw that, I was like, okay, this guy's a baller. This guy's going to go after it. And that's what I like to see. But all right, Will, what do you got?
Hold on. I'd like to not move on yet. I am ready. This is not me stalling. I am ready. So Joel,
Sure.
Tyler Allgeier, I looked it up here real quick. Tyler Allgeier is in the 4th year of his contract, and after this year, he becomes an unrestricted free agent. So he is able to go wherever he wants. Who do you think should go after him, and where do you think he goes? I don't think he stays in Atlanta. Let me put it that way.
I don't think he does either. I'm just looking at something real quick. Okay, so Bucks' backup running back, currently starter, Rachaad White, is in the last year of his contract. I would love to see him get shipped out because he sucks and get Allgeier in because the Buccaneers the Buccaneers use multiple running backs. They do. They did it last year. Yeah. They're doing it this year. Even with Bucky Irving out, when he was in, they were still using multiple running backs. But if you had Bucky Irving and Tyler Allgeier, the Buccaneers would actually use him. They would find a way to actually use him, and he would be good. That offense would be significantly better if they had Tyler Allgeier back there versus Rachaad White right now. Because Rachaad White sucks. He sucks. He's averaging like 3 yards a carry, and it's doing nothing for the Buccaneers offense. Their 3rd-string running back is getting more carries than he is because he sucks.
Yeah, Sean Taylor or something like that?
Sean Tucker, yeah.
Tucker.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I would love to see White get shipped out or just not come back and just bring in Allgeier. He would be fantastic with the Buccaneers.
Okay, I like that. I'm going a bit different route. I'm picking a current starter in the NFL who I just want to see on a different team because he's good. I'm picking Jets star wide receiver currently hurt, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson has, in his 3 years, has had 83 or more receptions and over 1,000 yards all 3 years. He had 1,100 yards his rookie year, 1,103 yards his rookie year, just over 1,000 yards his second year, and last year he had 1,104. So pretty consistent, over 1,000 yards. The touchdowns haven't been there as you might want as your starter, but I mean you look at your quarterback scenario here. And so I think last year was when Aaron was there, right? That was Aaron's full season there.
Yes.
in New York. Yeah, so with Aaron Rodgers, a competent quarterback, he had 154 targets with 101 receptions for 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. And that's on the Jets, and the Jets are not good. Even with Aaron Rodgers, the Jets were not good. This year, I now understand he's been hurt, but in the games he's been in, he has only gotten 10 targets twice this year, which is not great. One game was against Dallas, the other game was against Tampa Bay. And he's only had more than 5 receptions half of the games. He is just being completely underutilized. As I mentioned in my wrap-up, he was out this week. He did not play, or he got hurt, excuse me. No, he was out. Got hurt. 3 targets. I can do math. I can read. He got hurt in this game, and so that didn't help his cause. But as I mentioned earlier, if Justin Fields doesn't throw that screen pass to Breece Hall, he has 12 total passing yards this game. This is not a team for a star wide receiver to be on. I was actually a bit shocked that they did not ship him out at the trade deadline. But you can't trade all of your bad players. So he's good, and I would like to see him be good again. So I think he is incredibly underutilized as a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL.
If the Jets just had a quarterback, it would make all the difference.
That's true.
I don't even know if it's a quarterback. I feel like there's something else going on over there. They had Aaron Rodgers. It's got to be. I don't know if it's an organizational thing or what, but it just feels like anything that goes to the Jets just withers and dies.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers doesn't really look that good this year either.
No.
It's just an old Aaron Rodgers. You got an old Aaron Rodgers. You got Justin Fields. You have what's his name?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Yeah, like that's not going to help your receivers at all.
Yeah, he's still under his rookie deal for this year and next, and then in 2027 his contract jumps up to $13.5 million, and then 26, and then 31. He's through 2030 at New York, and for a receiver who's not putting up the numbers that you'd like, that's almost untradeable, but all this NFL money is fake anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Same thing with baseball and basketball. All this money is fake. Salary caps are a joke. But yeah, I just think he's going to be underutilized forever, and that the Jets are currently just in a pattern of never going to get out of it, right? Their last best hope was Mark Sanchez. That's kind of where we're at. He was their best hope. Yeah, and well, he's done some questionable stuff since then, most recently. But yeah, I don't know. I like Garrett Wilson. I like the skill he has. I thought it was really cool that they had Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner that going up against each other in practice, I'm sure made them both incredibly good. Like, you go up against a top tier caliber guy in practice every single day, you're going to get better. And then now they just don't have that. Garrett Wilson's been hurt. Sauce Gardner is now a Colt. And so you're just destined to but hey, you know what? They have a lot of picks. They have so many draft picks. You can just find Garrett Wilsons and Sauce Gardners everywhere. Maybe the plan is to bring in, what's the dude from Ohio State that roasts everybody?
Oh, Jeremiah Smith?
Jeremiah Smith, yep.
I had that same thought. Like, the Jets probably just secured the best receiver, the best player in that draft with all those picks.
He is by far the best player.
Yes. That dude's an absolute stud. He should be in the NFL right now, honestly.
All right. So I got an honorable mention, and that's Alvin Kamara, just because I feel like he's in prison. And he he's just withering away over there. My main guy is Kyler Murray. I feel like he's still got a lot left to give, and I think Arizona, just whether it's just the weapons or what, I don't feel like I'm not as big of a fan of Marvin Harrison Jr. as I used to be. And it might be because he's on my fantasy team this year. And he's just letting me down. But I understand what the situation is over there. So, like, I get it. But I almost kind of feel like, and I talked with Gavin, my cousin, and he kind of agrees. We both think that he'd do a lot better in Miami. I think with basically replacing Tua with him, I'll bet Kyler could find some new life. In fact, I wouldn't even say that Tua would do better in Arizona, but I almost just feel like, why don't you just swap them? I feel like both fan bases are getting a little tired, mainly just because of the losing. But I'm like, if you just did just QB for QB swap, I feel like with Achane and you got Tyreek coming back soon, I just feel like, because I mean the thing is Kyler's still got his mobility, just the options.
Tyreek's coming back soon?
In 2 years, maybe.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Can you look that up, Will? Do a little.
I'm
Pull it up.
right now.
Pull it up, Jimmy.
I know he's going to be out for at least a full year, at least.
That dude's knee was sideways. But
even without
knee
back,
surgery.
just put it back in, man.
Season-ending knee surgery.
Oh, he's not coming back this. Yeah,
Even without Tyreek Hill, though, Kyler Murray and Devon Achane, I feel like that would be pretty scary to opposing
Well,
defenses just based off of the rushing ability alone.
yeah.
Right, and they kept Jalen Waddle. You know who would be good for that offense? Is if Chip Kelly went down there to Miami. He left with
Run
with
some
Caleb
Oregon
Williams,
offense.
Devon, some speed option in the NFL. Ooh,
Yeah.
in Miami in that heat, you get down there in November and the humidity and nobody is ready for it anymore. All right, sorry, we're just wet dreaming out here.
But yeah, no, but that's basically. I just feel like sometimes, and this opinion is kind of influenced a little bit by some of these QBs that have left to different teams and like legitimately found new life. I mean, Daniel Jones is the clear example, but like just seeing like, okay, you guys are all professional athletes. It's not like you're just bad. I mean, it's the same thing with the Browns. It's like, dude, get this man out of Cleveland. Like, what else could he do if he wasn't here? What else could he do if he wasn't on the Jets or the Bears up until, maybe recently, even still now? But I just feel like sometimes getting that fresh start for a quarterback, more than anything else, more than any other position, I feel like a nice change of scenery without bad publicity around it. Meaning there wasn't some dramatic trade or some bad falling out, but simply something that you could blame the ownership for, but not the player. Because I feel like it just makes them get in their head. You already got fans booing them from the get-go. I just feel like that does affect quarterbacks, and I feel like you want them to get in that rhythm, you want them to get in that flow state, and I just feel like I think Kyler Murray would be really fun to watch.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I feel like that would actually be probably the best place that he could probably go. So, all right. Well, good job, Avery. That was a good audition for you.
Thank you.
Definitely better than I did.
Thanks, guys.
At least he didn't leave.
All right, Avery, you're up.
All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Jonathan Taylor. Should Jonathan Taylor be leading the MVP race right now?
Yeah, I think he should be.
All right. That settles it.
All right. That's it. Done. That's all you got to say.
I mean, if we're talking about, I don't think I'd put, the fact that you've got Daniel Jones as the top passer and Jonathan Taylor as the top rusher this is Carly's doing. Like, she knows ball. She's put together the best team. I love how she's been around for years doing this. It's just this year that we've kept tabs on it, and the internet is like, Carly is the GOAT. And the coaching staff's just like, what? Like, she's taking notes. We're the ones running this team. And they're like, nah, dude. Carly, dude. Carly's doing it. It's because of Carly.
It's because Jim Irsay passed away, and Carly,
Irsay,
Gordon, and
oh,
there's 3 Irsay daughters. Jim had 3 daughters, and all 3
the
of them
other
own
two,
now.
the other two are irrelevant.
They are not. They
don't take notes on the sideline.
They don't.
We don't care about
They
them.
don't have.
We don't care
the
about
same
them.
eyebrows. They don't have the same eyebrows taking notes on the sideline. You can't. I can't not. Right. I have to do it.
They might. We just don't know. We don't know what they look like.
They're in the building every day. Anyway, so yeah. You're right, though, Avery. She's been doing it for years. It's just now
it started off negative. I mean, I remember because I first saw it when I can't remember if it was preseason or just the first game where she was out there. And I remember all the comments being like, what is this? Like, this is some Jerry Jones shit. Like, why are you out here? And then they're winning, and now everyone's like, dude, Carly's got that secret sauce. Now she does. She has Sauce Gardner,
Now
which
she
just to
does.
me
Well-
sounds like a ranch brand, you know? Sauce Gardner.
Anyway, Will, what do you think?
So right now, Jonathan Taylor sits at third in MVP odds per ESPN bets at a
That is
plus
far too
600.
low.
Drake May is first, followed by Matthew Stafford, and Patrick Mahomes and Jonathan Taylor are tied for third. I mentioned in the wrap up that this week was his third week or his fifth week this year with 3 touchdowns, his 5th hat trick of the year. Now that is combined rushing and passer receiving, but still he's got 1,139 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns through 10 games rushing, and you add another 2 touchdowns receiving and another 260 yards. He is that team, right? Like Avery said, you've got Daniel Jones. You have no big name receivers. You've got a defense that's just putting it together, but you've got Jonathan Taylor, and he is the guy. He's going to win Offensive Player of the Year, and they're just going to give regular season MVP to a quarterback because that's just what they do. Well, he's the guy touching the ball every play. Well, I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones would be fine if Jonathan Taylor was touching the ball every play. You know what? We're going to flea flicker every play. I'm going to hand it to you. You're going to toss it back to me. We're going to do some backyard football bullet garbage. That was for you, Dwayne. And just make sure that...
He comments on all this all the time. He's like, did they say sorry, Dwayne? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you figured out why. You just don't want to mention it. But like, yeah, we were all, oh, no, that's what it was. Was it something? I think it was on a short where like you made the short, but like you didn't put that part in, or maybe you took that out. I can't remember what the deal was. There was something about that. I'm sure he appreciates it, though.
No, I do. I am in the camp of Jonathan Taylor should be number 1 currently. I think if he continues to have the season he has, so we've got 8 more games left in the season. He's on track for 20-something, 25, 28 touchdowns, something like that, right? That's how math works.
29.
29, pardon me. Didn't mean to get
Total.
mental math.
Total.
Sure. 29 total touchdowns as a non-quarterback where you are, you're not throwing the ball to different people. You don't have other options. You are the one doing the work. This is what everybody wanted Christian McCaffrey to be, and it's Jonathan Taylor. And so, I don't know. I think it is deserving of MVP, at least the way he's trending.
I agree. I think Jonathan Taylor's been in the MVP conversation for a lot of this season based off of how he's played this year. But I feel like in that conversation, it always ends with, well, he's a running back, so he's not going to win it. But it's time to give the people what they want. The people want a non-quarterback MVP for the first time since 2012. It's time to give the people what they want by giving the MVP to Jonathan Taylor.
Or Baker Mayfield. I'd be okay with that quarterback.
Well, he's kind of worked himself out of it. Unfortunately, that's the thing. Is this is such a up and down league that if you're not in it right, it's a what have you done for me lately? And the lately is last week. Jonathan Taylor has 0 touchdowns next week. Might as well write him out of the history books. Never going to happen.
But then he'll have 3 touchdowns the week after, so it'll be fine.
Honestly, that's kind of his trend, though. I do believe I heard a Schefter stat that was since Adrian Peterson won MVP, he was the last non-quarterback to win MVP. There have been, so do you know how the MVP voting works?
Poorly.
They vote.
So there's a bunch of people who vote, and it's your first place vote, your second place vote, and your third place vote. And I don't know how many they do, but your first place vote, let's just say, is worth 5 points. Yeah, your second place is worth 3, and your third place is worth 1, right? So you get points based off it, just the way same way the Heisman works. Since 2016, there have been, I don't know how many first place votes cast, but only one of them were to a non-quarterback. Here's a trivia question for you. Who was the player, the non-quarterback, who received the 1 vote, first place MVP vote since 2016?
McCaffrey.
Saquon Barkley.
No and no.
Oh, really?
This was 2021 when this happened.
2021. I wasn't a podcaster then. I don't know. I don't know.
Was it
Maybe
Jonathan?
Maybe 2022.
Was it Jonathan Taylor?
It was not.
That would have been convenient if it was. Who was it? I don't know.
Josh Jacobs, Derek.
Nope.
Dirk?
It was 2021. It was Cooper Kupp, the year he won the Triple Crown.
Oh.
Really, it was a quadruple crown because he also got yards after the catch or something like that, receptions. There was another record in there that he got, or not record. There was another stat he was number one in. But yeah, he got one vote that year that he won the Triple Crown for first place in MVP. If they're not going to give it to him for that, they're just not going to give it to a non-quarterback anymore. It's just not going to happen.
Who do they give it to? Is that Brady?
No, probably Mahomes here.
Yeah.
Could have been Matt Stafford, actually.
No, it wasn't Stafford.
That's Nikola Jokic. I want NFL. Why would it? Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, right. Aaron Rodgers won both COVID years in the NFL. I knew that.
But here's the difference between Jonathan Taylor and all these other running backs who you could take Saquon Barkley from last year. Saquon Barkley had a historic season last season. It was a historic season for a running back, but he was third in MVP voting. But here's the biggest difference. Jonathan Taylor is on track to get more yards than Saquon Barkley, but it's within 100 yards of each other. So it's basically the same total yardage. But the difference is last year in 16 games played, Saquon Barkley had 15 total touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor has more total touchdowns in 10 games than Saquon Barkley had all of last season. He has more. He's on pace to get 14 more total touchdowns than Saquon Barkley had all of last year. 14 more touchdowns. That's incredible. Jonathan Taylor is on pace with what LaDainian Tomlinson did in 2006 when he had 2,323 total yards and 31 total touchdowns. He's on track to get a little bit less touchdowns, but that is insane. If Jonathan Taylor is on pace and he finishes even somewhat in the realm of LaDainian Tomlinson's 2006 season, he's MVP, no question. No question. It should not go to a quarterback. I don't care if Matthew Stafford throws for 50 touchdown passes. I don't care what Drake May's doing. If Jonathan Taylor gets in the realm of LaDainian Tomlinson's historic 2006 season, he is the MVP, no question.
Yeah,
he should not be Offensive Player of the Year. He should not be Offensive Player of the Year. Give Offensive Player of the Year to the best quarterback and give MVP to Jonathan Taylor because he deserves it. If he can do that, he deserves it 100%.
Dude, I'm looking at these stats right now. With the exception of Larry Johnson from Kansas City in 2006, LaDainian Tomlinson had twice as much touchdowns as the next best running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
28 touchdowns. That's like slightly above average quarterback numbers.
Caleb Williams wishes he could throw that many.
And that's what Jonathan Taylor is on pace to do right now. He's on pace to have 29 touchdowns. LT had 31.
Oof.
He's right there with what LaDainian Tomlinson was doing in 2006.
Yeah. Until next week. And then we'll be like,
Right.
oh, off track.
Oh, that guy sucks. I can't believe he's even a starter.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
Why is this guy playing?
Ugh. He only had 150 yards and one touchdown. Get him out of here.
They're playing the Chiefs.
Yeah, that should be a good game.
That will be a good game.
All right, but since we're talking about the Colts, let's move on to our last topic of this episode. So there are 3 teams in the AFC who are currently 8-2. They're all tied for the 1 seed right now. The Colts, the Broncos, and the Patriots, they're all 8-2. So the Colts are the 1, the Broncos are the 2, and the Patriots are the 3 currently. But they all have the same record. So which of those 3 8-2 teams in the AFC do you guys think has the best chance to finish as the number 1 seed?
I think the Patriots have the easiest route. That was my understanding after looking at their schedules. That being said, I'm still kind of on this camp of like I don't like saying it out loud, but I still feel like the Colts are just like 1 game away from being exposed. It just doesn't feel real that they're that good. And it kind of feels like, Joel, I don't know if you remember this. This was like our sophomore, maybe junior year in high school. It might have sophomore. But the Titans were like undefeated. They were like 10, 11-0. And I remember like we were talking about them and like, oh yeah, they're not considered like the best team. And I'm like, dude, they have not lost. This might have been like 2009 or something. and then they like lost a couple games, and then they just got flushed out of the playoffs. And I was like, oh, like this whole time, like I just thought these guys were good. No one was giving them respect, and then it just didn't go anywhere anyways. And that's kind of how I feel about the Colts. I'm trying to disabuse myself of that notion that like they're not really here just because Daniel Jones, I mean, he's got one extra game played, but technically as of right now, he does have the most passing yards. And then with Jonathan Taylor as well. And then also Warren, dude's a monster out there.
Monster.
I feel like, dude, you'd feel so bad if you were, wait, Warren went before Loveland, or did Loveland go first?
No, Loveland was first. Because
Yeah,
you spoke it
rough.
into existence, dude.
You did speak into
Rough.
existence.
What did I say?
You said Loveland was going to get drafted before Warren, both within the first, I think you said 16 picks.
Oh, that was a really
You called
specific
it
guess.
spot on.
Yeah.
Because Warren was
Yeah.
projected higher, and you're like, no, Loveland's going to go first.
I think I just didn't want Warren to go because Oregon played him and he looked scary good. And then I thought by him going to the Colts, maybe like, oh, okay, we're not going to hear about him for a while. Not true. But no,
Okay,
I
well,
think
Avery-
he's a monster. Yeah.
Avery, let me ask you this. Do you think the Colts were exposed when they lost to the Steelers?
No. No, I don't. I guess what I was, not them losing, but more like I was waiting to see if they would lose composure. Like kind of fall apart a little bit. Kind of like maybe the Giants after losing Scattaboo or something, where it's like, oh, okay, we kind of lost our vibe.
Our
right
whole
there.
identity. Yeah.
Yeah, just like this was, I mean, it was more social media driven, but you could tell that team was like, they were having a good time. I mean, they weren't winning all their games, but it looked promising. And then that happened. It was like, okay, now you lost your head coach. You had to put Wilson in. It's like, okay, I don't know what we were excited for. This is still New York. But I haven't seen that from the Colts yet. In fact, if anything, like I usually, the way I can try to look past any bias I have is would I want my team playing them? And the answer is no, I would not. So I still feel like they're going to continue to go like to win, but like something's off. And then the Broncos, I think, have a very difficult path. I think they could do it. To be honest, be totally honest with you guys, I was amazed when I saw that they were 8-2. I forgot that they were like they were 1-2 to start the season, and I didn't realize that they hadn't lost since. And a lot of those games were close. One in particular against the Giants, they had no business winning, but the Giants were like, "No, here, you take this dub. I know it's mine, and I have it locked in this vault, but I'm gonna go ahead and unlock it, and I'm gonna give you this dub." 33 points in the fourth quarter. I didn't even watch it. I just saw the box score at the end, and I saw they won. I'm like, weren't they
You
down
texted
by
us.
like 20? And I took a screenshot because ESPN app has lied to me before. They've said stuff where it's like 2-point conversion failed. I'm like, then how did they get 8 points? And then so all the time this stuff happens, I'm like, this is an error. Those 33 points get spread out into the quarters, and you don't put them all in the fourth quarter. That's not where it all happened. And then I just responded because I think I was like watching something or playing something. I sent it to you guys. I'm like, what is this? And they're like, yeah. Anyway, I don't think the Broncos will continue that. I think they've got a rough path ahead of them. If they do, they've earned that number one spot. I think the Patriots are a little bit of a, I don't want to say paper tiger. I feel like that's a little disrespectful, but I feel like any one good shot at them could like take them out. They don't feel like solid. Like the Colts look solid. They don't, but I guess with the Patriots, maybe I'm just not sold. Maybe it's because their record was reversed last year.
But
yeah,
the Colts
I don't
didn't
know.
have a good record either.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, I think the Patriots have the best shot at getting it purely because of their schedule.
What do you think, Will?
As I mentioned, the Broncos are fraudulent, and they should be reported as such. They still have to play the Chiefs twice, the Packers once, and the Chargers once. And they already lost to the Chargers once this year. Now, that is Chargers in Denver, final game of the season. It's going to be a snowball. Probably going to walk away with that win, but you played the Chiefs twice starting this week. I just don't see the Broncos holding on to this record. They also have the Raiders and Jaguars in there, and the Commanders. So they have some winnable games: 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 and 5 probably for them, right? Like that makes sense for me. Patriots, you play the Jets, the Bengals, the Giants, so you're gonna get probably 10 wins in a row, and you may drop 2, one to the Bills, one to the Ravens, and you're gonna win Jets and Dolphins to finish the season out, right? So there's I can math 4 losses to get 17, so 13 and 4, and then the Colts. They play the Chiefs, Texans, Jaguars, Seahawks, Niners, Jaguars again, Texans again. So 4 divisional games to finish the season, and your 3 are Chiefs, Seahawks, and Niners. All 3 have winning records. Divisional games are incredibly hard. Colts have the hardest path to do it. The Patriots have the easiest path to do it. Chances are we are back in an era where the AFC goes through Foxborough again.
Oh.
And that is, I know,
Everyone loves
just
that.
saying that. It's been a rough 2 years, guys. It's been a real rough 2 years for the New England folks up there. They're only winning in basketball and hockey. They're not winning in football and baseball. I guess they won the World Series, I think, recently. Yeah, Boston's back, and that's unfortunate for the world. I think it's going to be Patriots. They've got the easiest route to do it. I also think, and you even heard, maybe you didn't hear it, Stephon Diggs even said, somehow Vrabel even got me to buy it, right? Like, Stephon Diggs was a spurned man. He was just, I'm out here getting mine, and Cardi B is that mine, right?
On the
And
boat.
Along with a few other women that he got
Yeah,
pregnant recently,
yeah.
but yeah.
On the
main
boat with
squeeze
the
was there.
pills,
Right. So it's a whole thing. Vrabel's got the boys turned around up there. Drake May looks like an absolute dog, in a good way. And the Patriots are like a complete team right now. And this is what happens when you draft offensive linemen early. Well, at least with a team around him. Because you look at the Jets drafted Armand Membu early,
Yes.
and that doesn't mean anything to the Jets. But one offensive lineman does not make a whole team. So it's going to be the Patriots. Unfortunately, I'd love to see the Colts do it, but it's just not in the cards.
So I agree with most of what you guys said, but I disagree with which team.
Boo! Oh, okay.
I
Okay,
don't care.
I know you don't.
I'm just kidding. Go for it.
I don't
Okay,
care
so
that you broke your arm.
I 100% agree that it's not the Broncos. The Broncos are out. You guys have already talked about it. Their schedule is the toughest of all the 3 teams. Their wins, just some of them, they beat the Raiders by 3. They beat the Texans by 3, the Giants by 1, the Jets by 2. It's like those are bottom tier teams that you're just barely beating. Their defense is good enough to get them the 1 seed, but their offense is not. So that's why I'm eliminating the Broncos. It's between the Colts and the Patriots. I just don't agree that it's the Patriots. I think it's the Colts. And the biggest reason why, even though their schedule is harder than the Patriots' schedule, the reason why is because they own the tiebreaker over the Broncos right now because they beat the Broncos head to head, and they're over the Patriots because their in-conference record is better than the Patriots' in-conference record right now. And it's only by 1 game, but they still have 1 less loss in the conference than the Patriots do, and that's a big, big advantage for the Colts moving forward because they can afford to lose a game. They can afford to lose a game in conference, and the Patriots cannot. If the Patriots lose a game in conference, they're probably giving up the 1 seed. And if they just lose 1 game in conference, they're probably giving it up. So the Colts have that advantage, which is why I'm picking them.
Patriots have the Bills at home, but they go to the Ravens. So those are 2 rough games coming down the stretch here. So they might lose both of those in a row.
It's very possible. And who knows? They play the Dolphins. Who knows what the Dolphins are going to do? They just beat the crap out of the Bills.
Well, the Dolphins don't even know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And
And the Bills don't even know what happened. Both teams are scratching their heads right now.
2 of the Colts' toughest games are Seahawks and Niners coming up, and those are both NFC opponents, so it doesn't matter for the conference.
Yeah, I do agree that the Patriots have the easiest schedule, but I just think that advantage of being up a game in conference games for the Colts is just going to get them, just barely put them over the edge and get them the 1 seed.
I like that.
I can agree with that take.
I regret my boo.
I don't
little
regret
bit.
that. I
A
don't
little.
care.
It's okay. Yeah.
That
You
was a
know how
good
many
take, though, but
you know how many people say stuff to me on social media? It's like the stuff that they say now, it doesn't even faze me. So I just know that they're gonna just hate. I could say Patrick Mahomes has won 3 Super Bowls, and they'd be like, "You're an idiot. He hasn't won 3 Super Bowls."
So you're saying you hate all the other quarterbacks? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Like,
so
yeah,
is Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman won 3. Yeah, that's not what we're saying. We're saying he also did the
Tom
thing.
Brady. You're gonna have to like lower the gain on that. It was probably really loud.
All right. Well, that's all we got time for on today's episode, guys. Again, I may or may not be here next week because my wife is having foot surgery. I don't know how long she's going to be out for. It just depends on how much stuff they have to do to her foot. She could be out anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks non-weight bearing, so it's going to be kind of challenging. I don't think I'm going to miss that much time regardless, but I may miss next week just because I got to figure some stuff out and see what the situation is. But if I'm not here, I'm sure these guys will put on a great show. I'm going to try to be here if I can. I'm really going to try. But Will's not going to host, by the way. It's going to be Avery. So
It'll be Avery for
If
sure.
Joel's not here, it's gonna be a party. I just want to let you guys know. If you guys want a party, if Joel's
Zero
not here, that's
sports.
what it will be.
It's
We'll
3 guys,
sprinkle
6 balls
sports in
for
somehow.
real.
I'm just going to get on to
we'll
edit it and just be like, what is this?
That's right. You still gotta watch it.
Hey,
Like, I can't use any of this full hour of stuff.
Real quick before we close out here, we are recording on Veterans Day. It won't come out on Veterans Day, obviously, but we are recording on Veterans Day. So just a huge shout out from the 3 of us to all those in the U.S. Armed Forces who have served and who have put their life on the line. So we get to sit here and make fart and wiener jokes because it is underappreciated and undervalued, but it truly does mean the world to us. And not a single person says it enough. So thank you all, you guys who have done their part and sacrificed all so we get to have a nice, comfortable life. It is truly, truly appreciated. Thank you so much.
And that should mean the most coming from me because I am not even American, and I appreciate you guys. So
He's an illegal. He's not. He's here legally, I guess. Yeah, whatever. Says the government.
all right. Well, that's all we got time for on this episode, guys. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Please go follow us on our social media channels. And as always, guys, don't forget to keep your balls played with. We'll see you next time.
Bye now, y'all. Also, Mark Davis' haircut still sucks.